Welcome to the Falco community call. My name is Jacopo. I will be the MC for this session. Let me start with the usual things. This community call is under the conduct of CNCF. So the idea is to try to be open and inclusive towards other people's opinion. So thank you for joining. I ask you to update the HackMD document with your presence under the section who joined. Let me put the link here so that you should be able to access it. Okay. And now let me go quickly through the agenda for today. So first of all, we are going to discuss about a few urgent maintenance tasks that are impacting the project. And then we will talk, we will dedicate some time on a more complex topic about an initiative that I started working in an exploratory way since a few weeks about making Falco multi-threaded. And we will conclude with container plugin and peas. I don't know who added these. It's you, Leo.
No,
I added this.
Okay. So thanks, Ari. So yeah, finally we will conclude with this topic. So let's get started. Kernel testing matrix update, as some of you may be already aware. We had some kernel testing that was based on some infrastructure provided by CNCF, some Equinix VMs that have been switched off. So we had to move these to another, basically we moved to another environment, those tests. These operation, I think it's concluded. So we are good now. And in the meantime, while doing this, we also got rid of Ignite, that was the micro VM framework used precedently, that has been deprecated, is no longer maintained. So now we are using directly Firecracker, that is a lower level framework that is used by Ignite behind the scenes. Let's move to the second topic, that is the refresh of the GPG signing key for RPM. Here, I leave the floor to Leonardo to give some insights about this.
oh yes, thank you. So this is basically boring stuff that of course we have to do. We are pronouncing this now, but we will send all the communication in the next few days. Basically, first of all, the context. This apply only for RPM and Debian packages that are signing using a GPG key. The GPG key is expiring on January 17th. So we need to rotate it as we did in the past. What's the plan for this? Basically, we will have mainly two phases. In the first phase that will start, I hope, at the beginning of next week, we basically create a new key and publish it to the URL that we usually use to let people download the key together with the old key. So this is a transition phase. Starting from that moment, all dev build will be signed with the new key, and previous stuff will remain with the old key. Then in January, a week before the expiration, we basically we will resign in bulk all the package we have published with the new key, and at the same time we will publish the revocation for the old key. Of course, some user that maybe do not read the communication in the middle can be affected by this, but this is expected as usual. They just will see that the key is expired or revoked, and they just need to re-import the key, as happened in most of the package manager. And finally, the next release of Falco that will happen at the end of January will be just published with the new key, and that's it. I will send all the communication through the mailing list, and probably I will also post a blog with all the details.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. Okay, so we are done with the boring stuff, I hope. And now let's discuss quickly about the initiative I mentioned, multi-threaded Falco. I just created this issue. It's a proposal, but just to make sure we are all on the same page, this is a very high-level proposal at the moment. I'm going to write more details in the coming days, and also publish a more detailed proposal, at least about the aspect that I'm investigating at the moment. But I just wanted to give you some insights about the motivation and some aspects about potential solution, or at least what we want, what I want to assess. So motivation, as you may know, Falco relies on a single-threaded model. There is basically an event loop in where we process the events that are generated by the event source. Of course, Falco supports different event source now with the plugin architecture, but the main event source is the syscall event source that comes in different flavors, either through the eBPF probe or kernel module. Well, we have two flavors of eBPF probes, but the thing is, as the machines, the virtual machines and physical machines are getting bigger in terms of cores, in terms of memory, in terms of I/O. We risk more and more to end up in situations where the amount of events that gets generated on a single machine saturates the event loop. And in this case, what happens is that basically, as we are using ring buffers to communicate events between kernel space and user space, we risk to fill those buffers. And at this point, we drop events. So dropping events has, of course, consequence in terms of the security model of Falco, because if you lose events, you could miss some possible threats. So it's something that should be avoided as much as possible. And there are several optimizations and mitigations that have been performed that the Falco community provided over the years. Lastly, for the one that basically are in sync with the last updates, we got rid of the enter events. That is a good mitigation, because basically we reduced by half the number of events that we processed, but still we risk when Falco is running on a machine that has some syscall heavy process, and that has, I mean, a huge machine with tons of processes, a lot of I/O. We still risk to saturate the event loop. That's why one of the possible solutions is to try to move toward a multi-threaded architecture, where basically we try to partition events and process them with different workers that run on different cores. Of course, it's simpler to say it than do it, because the whole architecture of Falco has been thought and implemented with this single threaded design in mind, because of course it makes it simpler, and it doesn't require any synchronization. But the challenge is basically when you need to share data when you are in a multi-threaded environment. Of course, the ideal situation is when you can partition the work in a way that all workers are completely independent. This is far from the situation of Falco, because, for instance, based on event processing, we are building, we are maintaining a state in libsysp. To give an example, we are maintaining the process state, or better, the thread state. And this thread state is accessed basically when we process every event. So the main challenges for this initiative are finding a good partitioning strategy, allowing workers to work independently as much as possible. At the moment, the thing that we considered are partitioning the work by thread ID, or better, thread group ID. When we decide the partitioning strategy, we have to consider things like the balancing. We need to find a strategy that balances work as equally as possible between workers, but also, as I already said, that makes workers as independent as possible. And the other part is designing data structures that allow working and sharing data with the lowest synchronization possible. For this aspect, as Falco is, I mean, we have to process 100, if not 1,000 I mean, hundred of thousands of events per second. So in a real-time system like Falco, we need very low synchronization cost. Otherwise, going multi-threaded risk to be not an effective measure to avoid drops. So we are considering some, or better, I'm considering at the moment some data structures like the one used in the Linux kernel based on RCU synchronization primitives that can be seen at high level. Like, I mean, they provide some primitives similar to read-write locks, but with they have the property that writers do not block readers. That is, so they are intended for situations where you have mostly a read profile of access, and you have so to be demonstrated that this is the profile of access in Falco, but we think that as this is basically we are trying to do something similar to what the Linux kernel is doing to maintain the task, the thread state. Probably using similar data structure could be a good idea. As I promised, I will share more information about the proposal in the coming days. So feel free to leave feedbacks and interact with the issue that I'm sharing if you have thoughts, or if you are just interested in these, so that yeah, we can have a good discussion. I think unless you have any question on this topic, I think we can close it here and move to the next topic. Okay, thanks. So let's move to the last point. I think this is from you, Ari, right?
Yeah, I've been running into issue adopting the new plugin framework for our environment. I think it's a race condition where the information may not be present at the time the event happens, but later is. And I wanted to ask if this is like a known issue, or if the way I want to fix it is the correct, or is it okay direction?
Okay, thanks, Harry. So I think, yeah, we had some interaction in this PR and on Slack. So thanks for reporting the issue, first of all. I thought this was an issue that we already fixed. So I suggested to try the new plugin, but apparently it didn't help you. And I don't think we had any report of this from other users. I don't know if Leo or Gerald experienced some crashes using the container plugin. Personally, I didn't, and I don't recall other similar I mean, other users signaling this, but if you have other information, keep me honest.
Yeah, there was a similar thing, if I remember correctly, this during this summer, and it was fixed. But also, this is very tied to the fix you pointed out in the issue. Indeed, if you just open the code, you will see that there is an if branch before the switch that should protect this from happening, but probably it is not working correctly.
Mm.
So I believe we have to dig into that. For sure, what Harry proposed can be good as a defensive approach, but I recommend to investigate why this is happening in first place, why CINFO is null in first place, and we still enter into the switch. This is strange, in my opinion. There can be a bug or something like that.
Yeah. One thing, Ari, if you have a proposal for a solution, feel free to open PR. I think it's easier to review what you're proposing rather than reading it here. Not a criticism, but I think it would be easier to proceed that way. And yeah,
of course, I'm fine opening a PR. I just was curious if the null checks was a good direction to go in, because as Leo pointed out, like I think there's something else broken above it, but still it would be a good idea to not crash.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Jacopo, can you just open extract.cpp very quickly, because I have a point to share.
Yes. So
CPP. Yes, it is. If you go at line 600.
600.
Okay, yeah. So basically, this was the fix that was applied 2 weeks ago. The point is, if I understand correctly, this code is basically that for those fields that are listed starting from 610, basically the start TS duration, etc., we can just return true even if we don't have the CINFO, okay? But if I read this code correctly, in every other case we should have CINFO. That's the strange thing for me.
Shouldn't then 619 be inverted to return false?
Oh yes. Okay, I got it. Okay, we have to double check again this code and this logic. There should be a problem there, in my opinion. So it's worth to investigate.
Yeah, I think if that's just done to invert it to false, then it won't go to the other logic for the extract.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for reporting. Feel free to open the pull request. We will investigate anyway.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. The container plugin is something relatively recent in the life of Falco. So yeah, there are probably some spots where it has to mature a bit. But yeah, thanks for reporting. If we are done with this point and there are no other things you folk wanted to discuss, I think we are good for today. And we can see each other in 2 weeks if you are going to join.
I have one question.
Oh,
I didn't
please.
put in the MD, and
Feel free.
I think this topic comes and goes, but what do you guys think that would be an appropriate moment to start with fuzzing Falco? I would like to collaborate. Of course, I would need to be mentored by you, but do you think that would be a good moment to start with maybe I could start with something simple in the Falco for the roles, and then after that, to validate the pipeline, we could increase the fuzzers and look into the more complex ones to the libs.
It's always a good time to introduce a fuzzer. I can just add a bit of context. If I remember correctly, there were some fuzz testing when we audited Falco by a third party. Then some maintainer tried to introduce it, but it was too much work at the time, so we had not enough capacity. I'm more than happy to see this happening if you are willing to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I will need to be mentored, but I can get started and draft a PR and see how it goes.
Sure. I'm not sure if a Falco repository is the right place to start. Maybe you can try to check on libs, because inside libs we have a scenes example that is an executable we use for testing. It's basically a simpler version of Falco. We have also scat example. It's another executable we use for testing, and just to reduce the context. But of course, feel free to start where you think it's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Leo. Thanks. If you want to contribute, you're welcome, and you can find us on Slack if you want. There is a Falco Slack in the Kubernetes Slack. I don't know if you are in, but
yeah, I'm there.
Okay, so feel free to reach out if you need any assistance or if you have any question.
Will do. Thank you.
Good. I don't know if there is anything else. Okay, in that case, we can close here the session. So thanks everyone for joining, and see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.